Module 6. Food Safety Hazards. Introduction. If you recall, under Module 1, we touched on the definition of a hazard, something that has the potential to cause harm. Concerning your food business, something that has the potential to make your food unsafe and cause your customers to suffer from food poisoning. So, as a food business owner, you need to understand all the different types of hazards and how to avoid them or at least reduce the risk of them ending up in your food. In this topic, we are going to look at the following: food contaminants, biological contaminants, chemical contaminants, physical contaminants, food contaminants, biological or pathogenic. Biological or pathogenic contamination, such as bacteria, viruses, and parasites, can be found on food and, if not handled or cooked safely, can cause illness. Toxins produced by certain bacteria can cause food intoxication. Chemicals. Chemicals such as pesticides, certain cleaning compounds, and sometimes using improper containers for cooking or storing food. These chemicals, when ingested in large amounts, can cause severe foodborne illness. Physical. Physical is the third type of contamination. This is when actual objects contaminate food such as hair, wood and metal, nuts and bolts. Have a look at the following table and write down the following. Identify the contaminants. Decide if it is physical, chemical, or microbiological. How can the object contaminate food? What do you need to do to prevent the object from contaminating food? Look back on question 4 in the last column. What you do to prevent objects contaminating food is what we call control, a lingo you must know to speak confidently with your food inspector. Look at this table and identify the microorganisms and the food poisoning symptoms associated with food in general. If you struggle, don't worry. Biological or pathogenic hazard. Identify the microorganisms and the food poisoning symptoms associated with food in general. If you struggle, don't worry. Drag and drop answers into the table. Food poisoning. Food poisoning can be described as a foodborne disease or foodborne illness. Food poisoning usually arises from improper handling, preparation, or food storage. Good hygiene practice before, during, and after food preparation can reduce the chances of contracting an illness. Regular hand washing is one of the most effective defenses against the spread of foodborne disease. How bacteria multiply. You must have heard of the phrase "go forth and multiply." Well, this is true for bacteria. The process by which bacteria do this is referred to as binary fission. Thus, 1 bacteria becomes 2, 2 becomes 4, 4 becomes 8, 8 becomes 16, and so on. So you can imagine the bacteria load in your food if not contained and controlled. If food is contaminated with a small number of bacteria and you leave it out of the fridge overnight, it could be seriously contaminated by the next day. For binary fission to take place, the right condition must be made available. As humans, we need food, sunlight, water, and time for us to thrive. For bacteria to thrive and grow, the following are needed: food, moisture, warmth, time. Since you can't see, taste, or smell bacteria, the only way that you can be sure that food is safe is to follow good food hygiene at all times. Pathogens. We have all heard about bacteria and have a fair idea of what they are, but some of us may not be familiar with the word pathogens. A pathogen is a tiny living organism, such as a bacterium or virus, that makes people sick. We will look at the most common ones found in food. Note, not all bacteria are pathogenic. Some bacteria are good bacteria, like those used in beer and yogurt production. Clostridium perfringens. Found in raw meat and poultry, canned. It is also found in the soil, the intestines of humans and animals, in sewage and animal manures. It can also produce spores and toxins in certain conditions, such as when food is improperly canned. Symptoms primarily cause watery diarrhea. Other symptoms may include nausea, vomiting, abdominal pain, and fever, 8 to 12 hours, but can take up to 24 hours from ingestion. Salmonella. Found in unpasteurized milk, eggs and raw egg products, meat and poultry. Symptoms: diarrhea, fever and nausea, and blood in the stool, stomach cramps. E. coli 0157. Found in intestines of humans and animals, undercooked meat. Symptoms: severe diarrhea, stomach cramps, fever and kidney damage. It has been known to be the cause of death. Campylobacter. Found in poultry, cattle, pigs, sheep and ostriches, and pets, including cats and dogs. Also, unpasteurized milk and untreated water. Symptoms: diarrhea can be severe and bloody with abdominal cramps. Bacillus cereus. Found in starchy foods, such as rice and pasta. It produces spores and toxins under the right condition. Symptoms: severe and bloody diarrhea and abdominal cramps, moderate nausea. Staphylococcus aureus. Found in the nose and on the skin. Symptoms: sudden start of nausea, vomiting, and stomach cramps. Most people also have diarrhea. Chemical contamination. Chemical contamination occurs when food comes into contact with chemicals and can lead to chemical food poisoning. Some common sources of chemical contact can include kitchen cleaning agents. Proper storing of kitchen cleaning chemicals is essential. Never keep food stored in the same place as your cleaning chemicals, and always use cleaning products designed especially for kitchen use. Unwashed fruits and vegetables. The pesticides and fungicides often used on fruits and vegetables to help them grow free from diseases are harmful if consumed. This is why it's vital to properly wash all fruits and vegetables before eating them. Food containers made from non-safe plastics. Single-use items, such as plastic containers, are not designed to be reused repeatedly. Check for the fork and knife sign at the bottom of the container to ensure it is food grade. Also, once you open a can of food, such as tomatoes, sardines, or pineapples, do not leave it in the can. Remove the food from the can and store it in a food-grade container. Pest control products. Items like fly spray and rat poison are extremely hazardous if consumed. Always store these products away from food items. Physical contamination. Physical contamination happens when actual objects contaminate foods. Sometimes when food is physically contaminated, it can also be biologically contaminated. Hair, glass or metal. Pests, jewelry, dirt, fingernails. This was quite a heavy module to take in, so if you need to repeat it, please do so. Before that, reflect on what you have learnt and how much knowledge you managed to retain by completing the following. This was quite a heavy module to take in, so if you need to repeat it, please do so. Before that, reflect on what you have learnt and how much knowledge you managed to retain by completing the following. 1. Define contaminant. 2. Define hazard. 3. What are the 3 types of hazards? 4. Define controls. 5. Bacteria reproduce by which process? 6. What are the 4 things bacteria need to multiply? 7. Name 2 spore-forming bacteria. 8. How can we stop the multiplication and the formation of toxins by bacteria? 9. What temperature range is the danger zone? 10. Name 4 common types of food poisoning bacteria. 11. Name some pathogens, biological hazards associated with foodborne illnesses. 12. Pathogenic bacteria are the most common cause of food poisoning and foodborne illness. True or false? 13. All bacteria are pathogenic and harmful when consumed. True or false? The answer is 1. A contaminant is any substance or object in food that makes the food harmful. 2. A hazard is anything that could cause harm to consumers. 3. Physical, chemical, biological. 4. Any action and activity that can be used to prevent or eliminate a food safety hazard, or reduce it to an acceptable level. 5. Binary fission. 6. Time, temperature, moisture and nutrients. 7. Clostridium perfringens and Bacillus cereus. 8. Keeping food in the fridge and below 8 degrees Celsius. 9. 5 degrees Celsius to 63 degrees Celsius. 10. Clostridium perfringens, Salmonella, E. coli 157, Campylobacter, Bacillus cereus and Staphylococcus aureus. 11. Bacteria, viruses, parasites, poisonous fish, plants and fungi. 12. True. 13. False. Well done! By completing all the above exercises and questions, you are on your way to complete your first simple documented food safety management system. This knowledge will equip you to comply with the law. Let us look at what the law requires in the final module of this training.